What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here. So yet again, another great day in the stock market today. The S&P 500 went up 0.7%. We had the Dow go up 0.9%, NASDAQ 100 up 0.6%, and the Russell 2000 pretty much broke even. So I want to break down some technicals, go over a bunch of stocks to buy now, and I want to share with you guys where my head is at overall as a trader and as an investor. So sit back, relax. I got some Dunkin' for today's video, guys. And if you all find value, hit the like button, subscribe, get yourself into the Strive Smart Discord chat, get free money as well from M1 Finance and from WeBull. And if you guys want to support me a bit further, you could check out my Patreon. All of those are linked down below. So let's get into it. Today, we saw yet again another all-time high from the S&P 500 at about 4130. And we saw an all-time high, you guessed it, guys, on the Dow Jones at almost 34,000 points. The all-time high was hit at 33,810 to be exact, and these numbers are just getting nuts. Do you all remember when we were talking about the 30,000 point level on the Dow, that being a milestone? Well, we're almost at 35,000 now, and remember 4,000 on the S&P? Well, we're almost at 4,200 now. So things are moving quick, and this goes to show, right? And this is kind of a lesson that you could take from this. Even though you think the market's overbought, and I did think that, and I still think that. I mean, we keep going up. As long as we're going up and up and up, we're getting more and more overbought. But if you were the person thinking, oh, market's overbought, I don't want to get in quite yet, you know, you left some money on the table. And this is kind of a lesson. It's like, okay, just because you think the market's overbought and, you know, you think they're going to crash, it doesn't mean you shouldn't have anything already in the markets. I always think, okay, it's good to have some money in always, just because we can't predict exactly what the market's going to do. And then you could have cash on the sidelines if you are a bit nervous, if you think the market's a bit shaky, it is going to go down, because if it does, you have that dry powder and you're ready to go, right? So that is one lesson that we could take from this. And overall, I mean, look at the 4-hour chart. S&P is at 82 in terms of the RSI. If we pull up SPY, you guys can see this hit 411 today. It's also pretty overbought on the 4 hour. It's at about 71. And overall, guys, I mean, I think we could end up pulling back at some point anywhere to about 398, 400, 405 even, right around this 50 moving average on the 4-hour chart for SPY. That would be a healthy spot, I believe. And when it comes down to QQQ, which is that NASDAQ 100 heavy index, and it's actually an ETF rather, and it's looking like it wants to go straight for 339. That is the all-time high, and we're about $2 shy from that as of now. And if you all have been following my videos, if you've been on the Patreon page, you know we've been talking about this as it's been breaking out. I mean, we covered it from 315 to 325. It filled the gap to 330. It filled all the way to 337, 338 at this point. And if you guys take a look, let me show you this. This is pretty impressive price action here. We pulled back. We held 330 at a higher low this morning, and we obviously rallied above the mid 330s. Now we're in the high 330s. So, yeah, based on this, the uptrend is continuing. This was a mere pullback this morning, and by the looks of it, QQQ could take out 339 and break into an all-time high anywhere above $340. So, I mean, guys, markets are on fire. You know, gold went down. Silver, what did silver do? Same with silver. Both of those went down, and the VIX also went down. So the VIX is continuously pushing down, and I'd love to know what you think. I mean, if you all think the markets are going to go up, let me know in the comments. And also let me know if you think they're going to go down. I want to see what the consensus is out of everybody here that's watching right now. I'd love to know, and plus your reasoning behind it and some technical breakdown if you want to. I don't really know. Comment what you guys want, but I just love to know what you have to think. And in terms of some stocks here, let's cover some of those quickly because I don't want to keep you guys too long on this beautiful Friday. Well, here in New Jersey, in fact, I'm looking out the window right now. It looks like it's going to rain. It's a bit cloudy, but I hope wherever you guys are, I hope it's nice out there. I hope you guys have a great weekend. And overall, before we do get into the weekend stuff and end the week, we have to talk about some stocks. Come on, guys. Fubo today. And I almost spit into the mic right there. Fubo today acquired an exclusive streaming rights. They acquired exclusive streaming rights to the Qatar World Cup 2022 qualifying matches of the South American Football Confederation. And no, not football like the NFL, guys. This is soccer, right? Well, here in the USA, they call it soccer. Over there in Europe, other places, most places other than the USA, they call it football, right? And that's good. I mean, the stock's moving up 13% on that news. It was up even more earlier. You guys can see it was up to $25. Holy crap, that's insane. So it was actually up to almost 20% at its peak on the day. That is just ridiculous. And despite doing so well, Fubo is still in a downtrend. We're still under both the 180 SMA here on the 4-hour and the overall downtrend that you can see based on this trend line here. And one thing I mentioned on Patreon today, and I'll talk about it right now, we actually saw a test at about $25, $26, and we failed there. And $25, $26 was a big support all through pretty much December, all the way through this March, so a couple months there. And the fact that we're struggling to break out of the once support, now resistance, that is a bit worrisome to me. So with Fubo in the very short term, and if you're looking at this long term, sure, whether you buy it here at 23 or 26 and you're bullish on the company, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. But if you're looking at the very short term here, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to set an alert at $25 in the very short term. If we could crack above 25, we might be able to break 26 from there and ultimately fill the gap to about the 180 moving average on this 4-hour chart, which is right around $30. Meaning, if it rallies to that point from where it is now, there's probably another 15-20% left in the tank, which is even 25%, and that's a pretty big move. So we could catch a move within the downtrend, and if you want to wait until the overall downtrend completely breaks, you're probably going to have to wait until $32 to $35 per share, and from there, who knows? We might do something like that, as I just illustrated with the trend line here. And the next stock is Moderna, guys, ticker symbol MRNA. And if we go to the live news, you can see, I'm not sure if my head's in the way. Let me move it really quickly. You guys can see, take a look at this. We can see the White House, the V-shot goal is 200 million shots in 100 days. And I'm not too sure how many have been administered right now in the U.S. I know it's a big amount. A lot of V-shots have been taken, which is great. You know, this is going to be good for the overall recovery of the economy with consumer confidence, people going out there, traveling, going to hotels, going on cruises, doing all this. And that's, again, going to be great for the economy. And it's going to be good for the stocks as well. You know, Moderna, Pfizer is another one. Johnson & Johnson is another one. And full transparency, I don't own Moderna or Pfizer, but I do own J&J. That is one of my long-term holdings, but we'll talk about that one in another video. We're focusing on Moderna here, and I'm looking at this more as a trade, not necessarily a long-term investment. In fact, I'm not interested whatsoever in Moderna. It's just not my cup of tea for a long-term investment, but yeah, as a trade, I could see it do well. We can see this wedge forming. It's already formed on the 4-hour. We're right by the 180 moving average here at about $140, $142. And you may be asking yourself, where is this going to go potentially? Well, I got the question, or the answer rather, for you. Well, I think it could go to about $155 if the wedge breaks and if this 180 moving average breaks. There's a big gap from there, again, up to about 155, which gives it about 8 to 10% upside from where it is right now. And it already went up about 5% today. And who knows? That's only the first target. If 155 breaks, from there, I could argue it's going to go up another 10%, maybe to about $175. So watch out for Moderna, guys. JP Morgan is a stock I called out a day or two ago, which is why it's super important, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. Make sure to go do that. Subscribe to the channel. And we covered this as it was in the wedge. You guys can see on the hourly chart here, we were in the wedge. And I mentioned to you guys, look, if 155 were to break, look for a slow gap up to about 158, which is what we're doing now pretty much. We're trading at 156.30. We went up almost 1% today, which is a good sign that we're breaking out of the wedge. The bulls are taking over. And this is kind of what could happen with Moderna, right? Although JP Morgan's ahead and they've already broken out. Moderna, like I said, going back to that one, if we take the wedge out, which we're trying to, it's going to fill the gap to 157, in my opinion. Kind of like going back to JP Morgan, it broke the wedge. Now it's filling up to 157. Is that the same? Anyway, yeah, I mean, JP Morgan could go even higher from there. I believe if it's able to break this very short-term resistance at 157, we're going to go to the 160s, low 160s, which gives it from where it is now about 3 to 4% upside. So I like JP Morgan. Fisker is another one, which on the 4-hour chart and on the hourly chart, it doesn't look too attractive, but let me show you this, guys. If you pull up the yearly chart, now we're talking. This looks pretty decent in terms of an overall dip, because look at this. We hit a higher high. If you all remember, that was back in, end of February. We hit that all-time high at almost $32, and it doesn't take a mad scientist to tell that it was overbought at that point in time, because it was. Anybody could tell you that. And now it's oversold. Pretty much anybody could tell you that as well. It's calmed down over 50%, and it's right by the uptrend where it should hold as an uptrend, right around the 180 moving average as well here on the yearly chart. So I'm thinking, Fisker, this could be a dip buy. I mean, I feel like we could end up rallying off this point. Sure, maybe we consolidate a little bit, a week or two, maybe a month, and slowly make our way back up. But if we, consolidate at 15, 16, slowly make our way to 17, 18 over the next month, that is going to be a confirming sign, in my opinion, that overall on the yearly chart, the uptrend's continuing. So listen, guys, I'm not here to tell you what to do. That's not what I'm doing. But if you're looking at a stock, whether it's Fisker, whether it's Neo, Amazon, Apple, it doesn't matter. If you're seeing a stock go down, 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 it's beaten down, it's down 50%, and you've done your research, you like the stock, you understand the pattern, that is when it's time to get in. A lot of people forget, and they're always like, oh, should I just get in a stock when it's already breaking out, it's almost at all-time highs, or it's at all-time highs? No, I mean, you could get in there, you could make money doing that, but the better time, in my opinion, and from my experience, is just chasing, not chasing necessarily, because I don't like chasing stocks, but going after stocks that are beaten down, you have high conviction, you understand the trend, you understand the fundamentals, and just riding it out. And I think Fisker could be a candidate for that. And again, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just looking at Fisker, and I'm like, wow, this could really bounce back from 15 and be at $20, $25 before we know it again. And we're going to be like, crap, we should have bought Fisker. And watch, I'm going to be saying that in a couple months probably. And I'm not going to end up buying Fisker, and then it's going to go up. And I'm going to be telling you guys, you remember a couple months ago, yada, yada, yada. That's probably going to happen. But anyway, Fisker is one I'm watching. And there's two here now that are not looking the most bullish, although you could argue here on the yearly chart that actually, yeah, it does look pretty decent. SPCE, this is Virgin Galactic. This looks okay on the yearly chart. Very similar to Fisker. It's dropped down a bunch. This one a little bit more than Fisker. It's down about 60%. We're holding the uptrend on the yearly chart here. We're also holding a higher low right around this 180 moving average. But if we zoom in a bit, right, on the 4-hour chart, what we notice is despite that uptrend on the yearly chart, we are seeing a head and shoulder here. We have the left shoulder, we have the head right here, and we have the right shoulder, which we don't really have on Fisker. And what we're noticing is SPCE here, it is struggling. It's been struggling. at the neckline of the head and shoulder, which leads me to believe this sell-off's not over quite yet. And we're still struggling right by the 180 moving average on the 4-hour chart as well. Again, despite holding the uptrend. So SPC is in a very funky spot right now. I believe that, yeah, we could end up going back down to the mid to low 20s. That's where the right shoulder would complete to. Maybe, I'm not going to say the teens. I think that's not going to happen, to be honest. But mid 20s definitely could happen. And if we end up holding 30, let's say, we take out the neckline at 35, that is where we're going to see a breakout. But we're not there yet. We're just not there yet. And if we were to break the 180 moving average at about 34, that's where we'd break out. But again, we're just not there yet. So we have to monitor the head and shoulder here and what it does between $30 and $35 and even $28, $29. That's critical in my eyes. And Quantumscape is another one which overall, this stock has died down pretty much from, well, it's still up. And that's the thing. A lot of people are like, oh, these stocks are getting crushed. But if you're looking at what they were at just a couple months ago, they're still up a crap ton. I mean, this is up 400+% from where it was back in August. It was at $10 and went all the way to $140. That's just ridiculous, guys. And went all the way back down to $40. But again, it's still up from $40, from $9 to $40. That's still a massive increase. And we're noticing over the past couple of months, well, pretty much all of this year, 2021, this stock, Quantumscape, is in a big descending triangle. We're making lower highs very clearly ever since early January, right? And we're holding the same support since early January at about 39 to $40. We've been holding that like a rock. And again, we're downtrending into it. So that is a descending triangle. And at this point in time, this could be a breakdown. We might break down and obviously not go to the single digits. I mean, that'd be ridiculous. But I think this could break down potentially and maybe go to $35, maybe $30. That could be the descending triangle playing out. And on the flip side, if we squeeze deeper into the descending triangle, we ultimately take out, let's say, $48. So I'm going to set an alert there. That would be the opposite. I mean, we'd be breaking out at that point, especially if we took out, let's say, the 180 moving average as well on the 4-hour chart, which has been a struggle point. So on Quantumscape, I'm going to set an alert. Maybe put it at $47 for now. We'll monitor that. Probably a little bit higher, but screw it. We'll just leave it at 47 for now. And the last one for today, guys, is Barrick Gold, another contrarian play, or actually, this really is the only contrarian play out of the list here. Maybe you could argue Virgin Galactic. I don't know. But gold, yeah, Barrick Gold for sure is a contrarian play. I bought this one at $19 flat pretty much a couple weeks ago. Now it's at $21.21. Would you look at that? It went up 0.24% today. And overall, the price action in the past couple of days, it's been good. Take a look. Over the past couple of days, it's above the downtrending channel here on the 4-hour. We also took out the 50 and the 180 moving averages. And now these past couple of days, and we actually closed above it, which is great here. We broke out of $20, $21, and now we're holding that. And that's a great sign because that was a high point from the early month of, or rather, in the middle of March. So the fact that we're taking out the March highs right now, and we actually are almost above the high point or to the high point we were in February, these are good signs that the tides are slowly turning with Barrick Gold here, and they pay a nice dividend as well. And I'll be honest, guys, and please just don't buy anything on based on my opinion, but I could see Barrick Gold, and this is why I got into it, I can see this thing go to $25, $30 easily, guys, because I think gold's going to go, the metal itself, it's going to go 2,000 plus an ounce at some point in the near-term future, and I've been buying gold as well. So the point where, okay, if we want to play a leveraged equity, if you want to look at a way to play gold with leverage, sure, you can trade options with GLD. You could do that. But you could also just buy some stock in a great gold mining company, which is Barrick Gold. And this will go up a ton if gold goes up a ton. And if gold tanks, sure, Barrick Gold is going to be screwed. But it's only about 5% of one of my portfolios, so I feel super comfortable because I'm not all in this stock. I just have it as a contrarian play within one of my portfolios. So yeah, guys, that is Barrick Gold. I like it. I think there's upside. And if we just look at the 3-year chart on the stock, it's also looking pretty good. If we just look at the overall uptrend, this is where it would hold, right around the 180 moving average on the 3-year chart here. So we just have to see how it plays out. And that's pretty much it. I guess we'll wrap up the video there. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to go down below, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to see further content, hit that notification bell as well. I would really appreciate that. That helps me out overall. And you could also check out my Patreon if you want real-time buy and sell alerts, call outs, morning update videos where we're breaking down the futures, what's going on pre-market, breakout stocks, any news that's coming out. That's on Patreon. And you could also get $30 from M1 Finance by simply using my link, depositing $100, and you get $30 free to invest, and I also get $30, and all of those are linked down below. I'll catch you all in the next video, which is going to be the best charging stock to buy now. I made a video on that earlier today. I'll link it here. I'll also link it down below. Make sure to go check that out. I'll catch you all there. Thanks for watching. As always, stay safe out there, guys. Peace out.